Welcome to The Explainer. We're all about turning complicated stuff into something you can really wrap your head around. And today, boy, we are tackling a huge one: money. I mean, where does it actually come from? And why does it feel like it's worth less every single year? So, let's just jump right in with a question I bet you've asked yourself a million times. Why doesn't my money buy what it used to? You know that feeling, right? You're at the grocery store, you're filling up your car, and it just feels like your paycheck is shrinking. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not imagining it. Okay, just take a look at these numbers. This is based on data straight from the Federal Reserve, and it's pretty staggering. It basically shows how the buying power of the US dollar has just collapsed over the last century. Think about it like this. Something that cost you just over $3 back in 1913 would cost you about $100 today. Yeah, let that sink in. The dollar has lost more than 96% of its value since the Fed was created. It's wild. So this isn't just in your head. It's a real, measurable thing that we call inflation. But to really get why this is happening, we have to go back to the beginning. We need to tear down a massive myth about where money even comes from. And trust me, what you think you know is probably not the full story. All right, to get to the bottom of this, let's talk about the story we all learn about how banks work. You know, it's the version they probably taught you in economics class. And hey, on the surface, it sounds totally logical. It makes perfect sense. The story goes something like this, right? We work hard, we earn some money, and we put our savings in a bank. Then the bank takes that money, our money, and lends it out to someone else, maybe to a family buying their first home or an entrepreneur starting a business. The bank is just the go-between, the intermediary. Sounds simple, right? Makes sense, except it's completely, totally wrong. It's not how it works at all. And this isn't some fringe theory. This idea is so common that the Bank of England, yeah, one of the oldest, most important central banks in the world, has a paper that basically says, hey everyone, that thing you think we do, that's not it. The reality is pretty much the exact opposite. So let's get right to it. This is the single most important thing to understand. Banks do not lend out money that's already sitting in their vaults. No, the very act of a bank making a loan, that creates new money, brand new money that literally did not exist seconds before. And if you can grasp that one concept, you're going to understand the modern economy in a way most people never will. Okay, so if banks aren't just lending out our savings, then what in the world are they doing? How is all this money we use every single day actually made? Well, get ready, because the answer is a bit of a mind bender. Here's the shocking truth. Commercial banks, you know, the ones you see on every street corner, they create something like 97% of all the money in the economy. Not the government printing it, not the central bank. The banks themselves. And they're not firing up printing presses in the basement. They do it by making loans. This right here, this is the moment of creation. This is when new money is born. When a bank gives you a mortgage, they don't go into a big vault and count out the cash. Nope. They just type some numbers into your bank account. And in that exact instant, a new deposit appears. And that deposit, that is brand new money. It's really a four-step dance. You go ask for a loan, the bank runs the numbers and says yes, and then poof, they just credit your account. Just like that. Now, for the bank's accountants, the loan is an asset to them, and the new deposit they just gave you is a liability. But the key is both sides of that equation are created at the exact same moment, pretty much out of thin air. There's this fantastic old term for this, fountain pen money. It's perfect, isn't it? It just captures the whole idea so well. Money that's basically willed into existence with the stroke of a banker's pen, or, you know, a click of a mouse today when they approve that loan. But wait a second. You're probably thinking, how is this even possible? What's to stop a bank from just creating infinite money for everybody? And that is an excellent question. The answer lies in the rules of the game, the rules of our modern financial system. See, this power that banks have is a key feature of the system we've all been living in since 1971. That year was a huge turning point. That's when the US government officially cut the dollar's tie to gold. It was a massive shift that basically pushed the entire world off the gold standard and into a totally new era of money. And that brings us to the system we have today, which is called fiat money. The word fiat actually comes from Latin, and it means let it be done. And that's exactly what it is. Fiat money has value because a government says it does. It's money by decree. We all trust it and agree to use it, but it's not backed by gold or silver or anything physical. It's backed by, well, trust and confidence.
Okay, so banks can create money, but it's not a total free-for-all. They can't just go wild with it. There are real limits. I mean, they have to be profitable, they have to manage their risks, they've got regulations to follow. But the biggest hand on the steering wheel? That's monetary policy. The big central banks, like the Fed here in the US, they set interest rates. By making it cheaper or more expensive to borrow, they basically control how much we all want to borrow. And that's the ultimate brake on how much new money gets created.
So, for about 50 years now, this government controlled fiat system has been pretty much the only game in town. It's just how the world worked. But now something new is here. A new technology has shown up that is challenging this entire model from the ground up.
And that new alternative, as you might have guessed, is cryptocurrency. It works on a totally different set of rules. You see, while fiat money is centralized, controlled by governments and central banks, crypto is decentralized. There's no CEO, no central headquarters, no single government calling the shots.
And this chart just lays out the differences so clearly. Fiat, issued by a government. Crypto, issued by a decentralized network of computers. Fiat, backed by trust. Crypto, backed by pure math and cryptography. But here's maybe the biggest difference of all. The supply of fiat money is, in theory, unlimited. They can always create more. But many cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin for example, have a hard fixed supply. There will only ever be a certain amount. So what we're looking at here is really a fundamental clash of ideas, a clash of philosophies. You've got one system that's top-down, controlled by a few, with an elastic, unlimited supply. And you have another that's bottom-up, governed by unchangeable code with a mathematically provable scarcity. These are two completely different visions for what money could and should be. And that leaves us with one last, really big thought to chew on. We've just walked through how our current money system actually works, how money is created, and how its value has steadily declined over a century. But now, for the first time in most of our lifetimes, there's a real technological alternative on the table. So the big question we're all left with is, what does the future of money really look like?